What's up guys, it's Mike from Annoying Vegans, and if you saw the title of this video, then you must be wondering why I am being canceled. Well, I'm gonna drop the ball. Since I went vegan in January of 2018, I have consumed honey. I've consumed honey like 10, maybe 15 times since then, and it's not because I actually like honey or that I've gone out of my way to buy honey. It's because honey has been an ingredient in some of the cereals, smoothies, and teas that I have gotten purchased. And I didn't realize it till after most of the time, but sometimes I did kind of gloss over the fact that it was there. And the reason why I haven't really gone as hard out of my way to avoid honey as I have eggs and dairy is because I don't have as much empathy for insects. I'm just gonna be straightforward about that. And that's not an excuse. Insects are animals too. Honey is something I wanted to talk about because it's often not at the forefront when we talk about what animal-free means. Usually we just talk about dairy and eggs and then honey. But in wanting to kind of bring that discussion here, I did some research to prepare for this. I did in fact learn some things about the bees that I didn't know about before, and it has made me feel more empathy for them. We're gonna talk about why people consume honey, what the process takes to make honey and what that involves from the bees, some replacements for honey, and then also some story that just dropped about how honey bees are on the decline. It's a touchy subject. So why do people want to consume honey? It has antioxidants, it is a natural sweetener, it has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal properties. It stores very long. It doesn't get bad. It can last forever because it has low water content and high acidity. And when the bees are producing honey, they actually produce a natural hydrogen peroxide. All of these properties combined prevent mold and bacteria from growing on honey. So not only is it considered a health food, but it's also very convenient. Now, it's a health food, I say, but I say that loosely because there's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of glucose and fructose in honey. And there was actually an experiment that compared honey against blueberries. Blueberries are very high in antioxidants, as honey is described to be as well. A teaspoon of honey has the same amount of antioxidants as 1/6 of blueberry, which means blueberries have a ton more antioxidants than honey does. We'll get into replacements later. In terms of sugar content, honey contains significantly more sugar per serving, around 17 grams per tablespoon, while blueberries contain about 15 grams per cup. It's like fruits. Yeah, some people say like don't eat too much fruit, it's too much sugar, but it's natural sugar that our bodies are programmed to balance out. We could do a whole other video on that. For those who don't know, bees are part of the ant family. Very smart group of animals that form roles and responsibilities. They're always working. That's why they say when you're a busy bee. You have the queen, you have the worker bees, and you have the drones. The drones, their responsibility is to mate with the queen. They don't actually do any work. And then all the worker bees, the rest of them are all female, they are constantly pollinating. Now, what exactly is pollination? We hear it all the time, right? Well, flowers have a male and a female body part. The male part is called the pollen. The female part is called the stigma. Pollination is the process of taking the pollen on one flower and transferring it to the stigma of another flower, allowing them to reproduce so that they can fertilize and create more plants and seeds for all of us animals to consume. But plants don't have intercourse like animals do. So the only way in which they're able to get these parts transferred between one another is through pollinating animals like bees and birds flowers, etc., bees will go up to a flower and suck their nectar. That's food for them. And in the process, they get the pollen stuck on their hair. If you look at a bee, it's hella messy all the time. It has pollen all over it. So then as the bee goes to another flower, it takes that with them, and it basically kind of like messes up and shakes it off and distributes the pollen to the stigma of other flowers. What we do in order to get more honey is take their honey, because they don't eat it all. We forcibly impregnate the queen. We cut off the queen's wings so that she can be identified. There's also practices that take place where somebody working in a bee farm is trying to infiltrate and invade the hive to take the honey away. The bees are not gonna just sit there and let them do it. So a lot of times they actually kill them off by spraying some kind of chemical. That way that they won't attack. The queen is killed when she can't produce anymore. We are just constantly abusing these bees. It's really sad to see. If you're getting value from this video and you haven't liked it yet, what are you doing? Or if you hate this video, why haven't you given it a dislike yet? Come on, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I don't discriminate against the thumbs. And please turn on those notifications, okay? And subscribe. There was actually a statistic that honeybees were not declining. Other bees were, but honeybees were actually increasing. From an ethical standpoint, it's bad. From an ecological standpoint, it doesn't seem as bad in the fact that honeybees have been steadily increasing. But there was actually a study that just came out. This is breaking news, guys. Honeybees are actually on the decline. This was published today. So let me read this. This is from Karma Gawa. Sad breaking news. More honeybees died in the US last year than in any other year in recorded history. And we don't exactly know why. They're still trying to figure out why. But this new study shows that 60% of the bees kept by commercial beekeepers didn't survive the winter. So it makes the largest honeybee colony loss in the US history. This is crazy, you guys. Yeah, it's a problem for it's a huge problem for living creatures, since honeybees pollinate many of the fruits, vegetables, and nuts that we eat. Yeah. Without bees, they could disappear. Our nutrition would disappear. Yeah, and that's basically it. So long story short, this is breaking news. 60% decline, the most that we've seen in history. We were seeing population was actually increasing, and now we're seeing that it's decreasing, and they're still trying to understand why. It's rough out there. If honeybees disappeared, we'd face significant food insecurity, with many crops relying on them for pollinating becoming scarce and expensive, impacting our diets and potentially leading to economic hardship and famine. I just feel like honey is not that necessary of a product, not even that impressive of a product for us to really need to do this anymore, you know? It's weird because I've been so indifferent about it, but I've been indifferent on both sides. And I have to tell you, after preparing for this video, I'm going to be able to flat out cut it out after this. There's really no need to consume honey, even by accident, and there's no excuses. If you want to take my vegan card away, I promise you I will still sleep well at night. What are some alternatives? I bet you think I'm gonna say agave. Sure, agave is a nice alternative. However, agave has so much sugar as well. It's actually really not healthy for you at all. So I like maple syrup. I actually like maple syrup better than agave. I don't really like sweets though. Also, bee-free honey. It's an apple-based vegan honey. I've never had it, but I'm guessing if they call it honey, then it must taste like honey. Also, there's rice syrup, brown rice syrup. So that's, and barley malt syrup. I'm guessing that a lot of these syrups are gonna be a lot of these fringe, even the bee-free honey, these fringe products are gonna be expensive. Well, first of all, agave, despite being marketed as a healthier sweetener, is not good for you because it's high in fructose, which can lead to health problems like increased risk of diabetes, heart disease. Yeah, we already knew that. Honey can be pretty cheap, $4. $4 for a small little thing of honey. Agave, $6 almost. Maple syrup, $5.50. Bee-free honey, that gets up to like 13. Brown rice syrup, I'm gonna assume that brown rice syrup is not that good for you. Brown rice syrup is like 10. bucks. Malt syrup, also 10 bucks. Are these things healthy though? That's what I'm curious about. Is brown rice syrup healthy? Again, it's not, because it has a lot of glucose. It doesn't have a lot of nutritional benefits. Okay, you know what? Maple syrup is the best one out of all of these because it has essential nutrients, magnesium, zinc, and calcium, lower glycemic index than sugar, antioxidants. Brown rice syrup, malt syrup, sorghum syrup, expensive, not very healthy. Agave, cheaper, still not very healthy. Maple syrup, about the same price as agave. Healthier than agave and the other syrups. Bee-free honey, most expensive, healthiest. And then honey, cheapest, and sorta in the middle in terms of health. Now, if you're looking to get a substitute for some of the properties that honey has, and you're not necessarily trying to substitute the texture or taste to get a sweetener. Let's say you're trying to get another resource for antibacterial or antioxidants. Garlic, ginger, turmeric, onions, cinnamon, berries. Those are all the things that you should consume if you're trying to substitute. Like if you're eating honey because of the antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant benefits, simply substitute it with any one of those things. If you're trying to substitute it for the texture and the sweetness, maple syrup or bee-free honey are my suggestions. All right, so those are all the things I wanted to cover in this video today. I think that honey really should be more at the forefront of the vegan conversation. I don't think it should be an afterthought. I am just as guilty of that as a lot of other people. Hopefully you all don't cancel me because I have had honey. Hopefully you don't take away my vegan card. The vegan police are out and about. I saw them earlier today arresting a vegan on the street. And I just had to say that vegan put up a fight despite being protein deficient.